Alright, hello everybody, this is Anime Thighs, and today I thought I'd make a quick video on what it's actually like to own a gaming PC. And there's pros and cons to everything, obviously, but if you're somebody who's thinking, should I buy a Series X or should I just buy myself a gaming PC and build one? I'm hoping that this will probably give you a little bit of an insight of what it's actually like from somebody that has now owned a PC for about 4 years. I have just finished upgrading everything in this computer. I started with a pre-built from iBuyPower, and all I gotta say is it's gonna take a lot of your patience. Like, building a computer is constant troubleshooting. There's a lot of maintenance that goes into it. So if you're not patient and you're somebody that just wants to turn on your, game and just play, you can definitely do that with the Series X, and you can also do it with a computer after you have troubleshooted it and built it together. Because putting one of these things together, if you're someone like me who is just a regular guy, I have a job and then I go to school, and it's a lot of troubleshooting. So if you're a guy like me and you're thinking, well, should I do it? Should I get one? What you really should be asking is, am I patient? Do I have the time to sit there for hours and hours and hours on end, researching different Reddit threads and researching different manuals to make the damn thing work? Because that's really what you're going to be doing before you get to the point of just turning on your computer and playing video games. Now, I will say, despite all that, and despite the fact that it is very time consuming to get to a point where you say, the build is I just finished building it right now, which is why my cable management is as it is. It's gonna take a long time before you actually get to the point where you're like, yes, I can just turn on my computer and play some video games. So if you're someone like me who's just an average guy, you got to consider that. Am I patient, and do I have the patience really to sit down and troubleshoot hardware problems and software problems? Because they're two different, like, kinds of problems. Hardware would be like, hey, I gotta figure out where everything goes in this motherboard. And that's actually, it's very time consuming. I actually almost fried my cables because I plugged something into the wrong socket. Like, it was that little cable in here. Let me see if I could really tug on it a little bit. That one. It was this cable here. I plugged it in to the wrong socket when I first started, and my computer started smoking. Like, it literally just started to like smoke until I turned it off immediately. So there was more risks, but there's also higher rewards, because the computer now that I have is able to play most games at 120 frames per second with good RAM. It doesn't really ever lag, and it's definitely better than the Series X. Like, I can confidently say that. Plus, you can always upgrade your computer more and more to make it better and better, which is something that the Series X is not going to have. But again, in order to get to that point where you can just sit down and just, I don't know, like, boot up any of your games that you want to play, it's gonna take a lot of patience and a lot of resources and a lot of troubleshooting and critical thinking skills of, like, maybe this goes here, maybe that goes there. Is this a software problem? Is this a hardware problem? So if I could sum up what it's like to own a gaming PC, it's like making a deal with the devil. Because you're going to be thinking, yeah, this is great and that's great, this is what it offers, but in order to get there, you're gonna have to put in some serious researching skills into it. And if you're just an average guy like me that's something to consider. Because a lot of us, after a long day of being at school and then working for another like 6 hours, we just want to sit down and play video games. The other thing is just like, for personal experience, I know that I was very close to this case not like working out. So every time I purchased something for this computer, I had to think to myself, is it going to fit in the case? Is it not going to fit in the case? And it was just very, very, very frustrating. But now we've gone to the point where, yes, I can just press on, load up a game, and play. So I hope that this is really like sort of helpful. I don't really have a script that I'm going off of either for this YouTube video. I just thought it was going to be a quick YouTube video on, you know, like helping out somebody that might be wondering, hey, do I buy a Series X or do I buy a gaming PC? And it comes down to, do you want to just plug in your Series X and then buy the games and play them? Or do you want to have a lot of time where you're troubleshooting, building the thing together, and then playing in a better machine than the Series X? Because I would say that even a 4 graphics card, because I just upgraded for over 4 years, I played with a low end PC with like 4 gigabytes of, you know, RAM. I only had one RAM stick, which amounted to like 8 gigabytes, a really low end CPU and all that, because it was a pre-built. So it was still playing better than my Series X because I do have one. So I have both of those to compare them to. And even at 4 gigabytes low-end PC, it was still playing better than my Series X. So I will say that I do believe that the Series X is not as good as most gaming computers out there. And there's pros and cons. But I do believe that you should be aware that it is better, but it's gonna take a lot of your patience to get it to work. Because even now, I'm not entirely finished. I gotta manage all those cables, because I just plugged it in to make sure that my new liquid cooler was actually gonna work and all that. So now I just gotta like do cable management, and that's gonna be a pain. So it's making a deal with the devil. Once you buy something, you're gonna realize that you might need to buy something else because it's gonna be better, and you're just gonna go on this like downhill like loop where you're like, okay, well now I need this, and then that needs this, and then you're gonna need more and more and more. So it's just something to think about. I hope that this is helpful to some people. I hope that you can make a decision from somebody that's like, hey, I'm not really a computer expert. I'm not really, you know, like somebody that is always into computers, but hearing it from somebody that's just regular and has owned a PC for over 4 years now. And I'm finally done for this project. I think that it's finally finished. I don't really have anything else that I really would want. The case is fine. I think we're basically finished with our build. So again, I hope that this video is somewhat helpful. If you have any questions about basically anything, leave them in the comments. I'm pretty active sometimes when I'm not working, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Because I'm not a computer expert, but I would say that I do possess a good amount of knowledge at this point about computers, because I have built it and I've had it and I've troubleshooted all kinds of things for over 4 years. So have a good day, and thank you for watching.